and welcome to Homespun House. My name is Molly, and thank you so much for joining me today. It's very, very gray here in Berlin, but it's not gray inside. I am surrounded by a Yankee candle, which is my favorite, in the sage. I guess I can show you. I'm sure you guys have seen this many times. In the sage smell, one of my favorites. I love it. And I'm sitting somewhere different today. Well, I'm sitting in the same room as always. I'm sitting in my studio. But today I'm sitting with my drying rack behind me because it is very rainy outside. I have some of my yarn in here in the studio. I usually don't have it drying in here. I usually have it all out on the balcony. I have some out on the balcony right now because there's part that is covered. But where this would go, I had to bring it in. Anyway, so that's why this is here. That's where my camera normally goes. So this is normally just blank here, this wall. But the office will have an upgrade, so there will be a massive 25 cabin shelf behind me. So I'm so excited about that. I already have one over here. I think you got a little peek of it in the last episode. But there will be another one here because I do not have enough space for all of my bare yarn and dye yarn that I dye. So that being said, that's why this is behind me. So how are you guys? I have had a fantastic couple of last weeks. Like I said, it's wonderful. I'm surrounded in here by yarn. I've been busy dyeing and just having fun. I've had a lot of fun knitting. And chatting with Danny because we are doing a knit along. That's not why we're chatting. We chat every day. But yeah, we're knitting along with our Party on My Needles shawl. And that is a shawl designed by a Joji Locatelli. And I love it. I adore this pattern so much. I'm knitting her large version, the large version of the shawl. And I am knitting it in a Homespun House in the Let Them Eat Cake colorway, and this is on the Jeunesse singles base. And then I'm eating it on I am knitting it on my ash colorway, and this is a repeatable colorway. There might even be a skein or two left in the shop. So I'm knitting this on singles yarn. It is the second shawl that I've ever knit on singles, and oh my goodness, I love knitting shawls on singles yarn. So like I said, this is Joji Locatelli Party on My Needles shawl. I believe the name is inspired by the Groceria Girls podcast, as Sue would like to call them, from Legacy Knits. Which, Sue, Chelsea, you have no idea how happy I was when I saw that you girls came out with a new podcast. I had a pretty busy day planned, but I made sure that I found some moments to do some sit-down work while I watched the podcast, and it was just fantastic. I think I watched half of it during the day, and then later in the evening when Robert was gone, I finished and I knit a little bit, and it was so fantastic to see you guys back. I definitely missed you. So the Party on My Needles shawl is a lot of fun. So I am knitting this, the larger version, like I said, but I'm knitting it even larger than the pattern. So I think Danny and I talked about knitting it until we ran out of our second skein of yarn. So it seems like there's a bit left. I think I have 2/3 of a skein left, but because the rows are they're quite long. I mean, I'm never really knitting a row and thinking, oh my goodness, these rows go on forever. Because I'm at the contrasting edge where you do the main color and then you do the contrasting stripe and then you even have some lace in between. It's never boring, really. There's almost every other row there is something kind of different that you're doing, but it's still very, very mindless. Now, the lace is so simple, and it seems like every time lately that I have had a simple lace row where they say, you may put stitch markers here if you want. I don't. And I don't know why I don't do that, because I think I messed up the lace row on this 5 different times. My stitch count was so off. I do not know what was happening. I finally thought, I need to put stitch markers in here. And I don't know what my problem is with stitch markers. Am I like, is it laziness? Is it just not wanting to use them because I want to be able to knit lace without stitch markers? I have no idea. I'm thinking it's just kind of laziness. I don't know. Anyway, so finally I said enough is enough. I need to put stitch markers on this. I have messed it up enough. There was a point where I just put the shawl down for a while because I couldn't deal with ruining the lace so many times. And I wasn't even like doing anything crazy when I was knitting the lace. It was always in the evenings when the kids were asleep, and I wouldn't realize it. The problem is I often wouldn't realize it until I got to the next lace round, which I think is like, I don't want to give the pattern away, but approximately between 10 to 15 rows. So it was just like, oh, you have got to be kidding me. So finally, like I said enough is enough. I need to put stitch markers in, and Danny as well said that she was going to put stitch markers in hers, and that was like the final push of, yes, okay, let's just put them in. You're spending way more time ripping out these rows than it will take to put stitch markers in each round, or each, set of stitches. So it's helped me. Now that I have the stitch markers in there, I do not even need to look at the pattern at all, ever. So that is nice. It makes it so much more of an enjoyable knit. I need to just learn from my mistakes and always put stitch markers in when I'm doing a lace repeat. So I am loving this design. I love how simple it is. I love, this is where I added my yarn, so I obviously have some ends to sew in. And I have a super cute little teapot here. I sell these in my shop. They're porcelain ceramic, or they're not porcelain ceramic, that wouldn't even make sense. They are ceramic glazed teacups or teapots. And I do have teacups as well, but I thought this one was so beautiful. So yeah, that is how this is going. And would you believe I dropped a stitch? That's what this little loop is. Well, not little. I pulled it out quite far so that it doesn't fall anymore. And it's really funny. I have really, really changed my attitude with mistakes. If you go back and watch my first podcasts, you will see that my attitude was so much different when it came to mistakes in my knitting. I would rip it out. I didn't care how early on it was in the pattern. Even if it was something like a dropped stitch, or maybe even if I was just doing very, very simple stockinette stitch and I added a stitch or something a couple of rows back where one stitch wouldn't even make a difference, I would have ripped all the way back. And now that has just changed. For example, like this, I'm just going to sew it in. You will not even notice it. It will basically be invisible. There was a row somewhere back where I didn't mess up the lace, excuse me. I didn't mess up the lace. I think I added 4 stitches too many. And I don't know how that happened, but I did it. So I ended up, or I didn't, I forgot to add 4 stitches, so I forgot an increase round. And I ended up just adding those randomly at one time. because I thought, you know what, the shawl is so massive you won't even realize it. I would have never ever done that a couple of years ago. No way. Now I feel like, why? You know, if those mistakes are not even noticeable, why do you need to know in your head, like, okay, that was knit so perfect? For those of you who do that, there's no problem. But for me, I just thought, there is no need to stress so much about this. You need to enjoy your knitting. And I was enjoying my knitting back then, even when, you know, I needed it to be perfect. But now I'm really pleased that I have more of a laid back mindset about my knitting. And don't feel bad. Don't feel bad if you do something simple like that. You're knitting a shawl and you're at a larger area and you add or forget to add 4 stitches. It's a super simple thing to decrease or to increase. If you have a little dropped stitch, you can sew it in. You can do quite a seamless, you know, sew in. And I don't know, I just feel really happy and pleased with my knitting. So I'm loving this. I'm really enjoying knitting on it. Danny and I have talked about knitting yet another shawl. So I wrote it down. I don't do show notes anymore. I just feel like they don't work for me at all. I know a lot of podcasters do show notes, but I did write down the name of the shawl that we want to make, probably. So it's called Brioche-licious. Brioche-licious. And it's by Drea Renee, I think. I've seen this shawl so many times. But there is an Instagrammer. Oh my goodness, I feel terrible that I can't remember what her name is. Let me have a quick look. I think her name is I Am Cat Reading or something. Yeah, I Am Cat Reading. And she did the most stunning version of this shawl. It's really funny because I saved her version of this shawl on my phone, and oh my goodness, quite a while ago. And just yesterday, Danny sent me a picture of it and she was like, what do you think about this? And I said, oh my God, I love it. Let's knit it together. So after we finish our Party on My Needles shawl, we hope to knit the Brioche-licious shawl together. So if any of you guys, it won't be an official knit along by any means. It will just be a fun, you know, knitting with my friend, sort of knit along. But if any of you guys want to knit with us, feel free, of course, to join in and knit. There couldn't be a better time. Fall is rolling around the corner and that shawl is so pretty. I think it requires maybe 5 different colorways. The pattern calls for quite a hefty amount of each of the yarns. I was thinking you could do, 20 gram mini skeins, but I guess it calls for more than that. So I don't know if that is the pattern writer wanting you to be, being a little bit wary of people not running out of yarn, or if it really calls for so much yarn. So I definitely am going to look into a couple of project pages and see other people's experience with that shawl. If you guys have knit that shawl, definitely let me know what sort of yardage you guys got on your shawls, and let me know if it was an enjoyable knit. I'm really, really curious. I would love to see your projects on that. So that is the current shawl that I am knitting on. The next project that I am working on, and this is what I worked on in the evening while I watched Chelsea and Sue's podcast, The Legacy Knits. You guys need to check it out if you haven't. I finally picked up again my barley pullover. That's not the name of it. It's just a standard raglan shaping pullover, and I'm just kind of making it to fit myself. So let's see if I can get this. This is in my DK weight yarn. This is the barley colorway, which is why I'm calling it barley, barley pullover. And it just is kind of, a raglan style, like I said, and it's, tighter to the neck. It's not V-neck or anything. It's just a rounded neck. I think it will look nice with a collared shirt underneath when it gets cooler. And I have one sleeve finished, which is really exciting. And now I'm knitting on the other sleeve. So I'm adoring it. I'm loving the way that it's looking. I've already tried it on. I hope by the weekend I will have this cardigan finished. Not for anything in particular. I know it is still August. I probably won't get that much wear out of it. I could definitely be wearing it today with the windows open. Like I said, it's a gray, cool day, which I love. It is perfect for dyeing yarn. I have some yarn in the pots right now. I'm currently dyeing When Girls Telephone Boys. I'm dyeing it on 3 different bases: the glitter, soft sock, and Jeunesse singles. And it's perfect. I can have all the windows open. It's really nice and cool. And that's my favorite kind of dyeing weather. So obviously you don't want it to be too windy because then wind would come and blow dye all over the place. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun knitting it. It's really, really simple. I'm almost at the arm decreases. Right now I'm just knitting it straight. This is kind of a loose fitting. It's not oversized by any means. But it's not, there's no negative ease. It's definitely a little bit of a looser, more comfy and cozy cardigan. So I was hoping that I could get through my skein of yarn to finish the sleeve, but there's no way. I'm going to have to break into another skein. So that kind of stinks, but I'm definitely okay with it. I think I have 3 more skeins left that I saved for my cardigan. Yeah. I don't even know how many I've used. I think I've used 3. So I think this cardigan will use almost 4 skeins of DK weight yarn. So about 800, if that, meters of DK weight yarn. Or I don't even know. I really don't even know. 1, 2. I'm almost positive I've just used 3. So I'm knitting a size 34. So I think that's a US 4, maybe? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, so that's a lot of fun. It's super cozy, super squishy. I know that a lot of people use these for socks. This is a DPN cozy. Danny from the Little Bobbins makes these, and I'm using it for the arm of my sweater. It works perfect. I'm just using small, I guess I could show you guys these. Small Knit Pro Zings, and I think I'm using 3.5 millimeters, and then when I go to the ribbing, I do the 3 millimeter. Especially for the cuffs. I don't like the cuffs to be massive and big. I like them to be a little bit more form-fitting. So that's a lot of fun. In this bag, I kind of forget about this little bird. This is a cute little porcelain bird that my grandma gave me. My grandma Sue. I haven't talked about her in quite some time, but she gave this to me when we visited America last time, and she sees these birds all around her house, and it's kind of like a little treasure that I keep in here, and I often forget about him, but every time I open it and need some notions, like I need some progress keepers. I use progress keepers for all of the decreases on the arm so that I can remember how many I've done. I find him, and I have to smile. The next thing that I've been working on a little bit, and I wish that I would have worked on these a little bit more, I wish I would have pushed myself a little bit more, are my Metamorphosis socks. This is a newer colorway to a Homespun house, and these are knit on soft sock. I have a little bit of a smaller cuff than I've normally done. I talked about this in the last podcast, but I really enjoy a smaller cuff. I'm wearing my Foxy socks from the sock blanks that I knit from Andre Sue. And those are very short. They just have a cuff and then the heel begins. And I think I'm about ready for the decreases. Maybe another 2.5 centimeters, an inch. And then I can start decreasing and knit the other sock. So I'm definitely going to have more of this yarn left over. Here's my cake. And yeah. So these are fun. I love soft sock. I really like that base. So it's just a fun colorway to see be knit up. So I'm knitting these on my Addy Turbo Sock Rockets from the lovely Jody and Tracy of the Groceria Girls podcast. They finally came out with a new one too. Watched it, adored it, loved it. Their podcast is always so fantastic. I do have some Metamorphosis in the shop. I have it on tweed because we're selling tweed at a Homespun house now, which is so exciting. I have been searching high and low for a wonderful tweed European seller. I finally found it, which is wonderful. I'm really, really happy about that. And I wanted to dye up some of my fun variegated yarn on the tweed bases. Now, because the tweed it's not so much of a natural color, it's definitely more gray toned, the bare yarn. All of the colorways dyed up on tweed will not be as pure looking as other bases. They'll be more heathered, I guess you could say. They'll still be vibrant. They're really still beautiful, and I love the way Metamorphosis showed up on that. So yeah, I got some really, really fun packages in the mail. So Jules of So Sweet Violet, I haven't used this yet. I really wanted to show it to you. I think she sews all of her bags with Liberty fabric, and she does some quilting over it. So this is really beautiful. She has her little party bird at the top with the feather in the back. Has this gorgeous tassel in the front. And her bags are they are honestly exquisite. I showed them to Robert and he was flabbergasted. These just take project bags to a whole new level. So if you can ever get your hands on some So Sweet Violet bags, do it. So inside, she has this really nice little handle, and it has this O-ring on it that you can put your stitch markers, progress keepers, whatever you want. You could even hang your scissor on there. What else could you use it for? Your yarn tag if you don't want to lose it. But I really adore that feature. Genius. And then the bag has 2 pockets. I don't know if you will even be able to see it. I guess I could kind of turn it inside out. No, not really. That just ends up making it look sloppy, which it isn't at all. So there are 2 pockets inside. One of them is a little bit larger than the other. And she sent me some gorgeous teas that I haven't tried yet, but they all sound fantastic. I can't wait to sip on those. And then I completely adore her for sending these for my girls. That's so sweet. Some Frozen and Peppa Pig little, what are they? Milk chocolate buttons. So I am sure they will love and be obsessed with those. I wonder if I will forget that they're in there. I will not eat them. Do not fret. I will save those for the girls. So I definitely have to put my next project in here. I love it. And I really want a sweater bag with the loop with the O-ring in it, because I think it would just be perfect for all of the stitch markers. But this would be perfect as well for a shawl, I think. A lace one, because we all know I need to use stitch markers for my lace shawls, so I could get them all ready in there. But I adore this bag. I think that this fabric is beautiful. The colors are perfect. I am definitely becoming more and more of a blue girl. And it just looks very vintage, the tones of it. So the next fun thing that came in the mail was something from Dyed in the Wool. So let me show you what she sent. All right. really love the way that she writes. I like her logo. So this is the way that it looks. And she surprised me and she sent a sock blank. So this one looks pretty spiffy. I am quite excited to try this out. I haven't opened it. But it looks nice. Did she write something in there? Sassy sock blanks. It is a 75/25 merino nylon. And it's in the Shebad colorway. So I definitely like that. It is my colors to a T. And I think that would make a really pretty shawl. Contrasting color in a shawl. It's probably what I would use that for. And then this. Oh, what is that? No idea. Wonderful speckled skein of yarn. And this is in her fancy sock base. Oh, I can't read the writing. Le Omaval colorway. 75/25 again. And this is so pretty. I think this would make also a really nice pair of socks. So there's fuchsia, black, aqua, some green, gray, orange. It's really pretty. I love it. And I can't believe her. She sent me some Addy Turbo sock rockets. So I think that means I'm going to have to cast on yet another pair of socks. I don't know. I've been really weird in just having one pair of socks on the needles at a time. I feel very strange having two on the needles at a time. My projects have just kind of been manageable, and I kind of feel like 3 is a good number for me right now, which is what I have, which is kind of what I'm actively working on. Oh no, something just fell. Anyway, I am having technical difficulties. Okay, so she sent me those, which was very, very nice. And then she sent me this really cute stitch marker case. She sells these. I think she has an on her Etsy shop. I'm pretty sure she doesn't have a .com. If she does, I'm sorry, but I'm positive she does on Etsy. I'm pretty positive. And it's nice. You keep your stitch markers in here, and then you just push the button and it moves to the stitch markers that you want. So she sent, I think this is so cool. I'm guessing she made this out of shrinky dink. I'm not sure what that's called. But I love this. Probably just because I love the way she writes her company so much. Just a little stitch marker that says dyed in the wool. I think that would be fun to have on my shawl when I knit with her yarn. Maybe I'll have to use those 2 yarns together in my Brioche-alicious shawl. Her cute little sheepy on there. And then she sent me some fresh lavender, which is really nice. I think I'm going to put that in my So Sweet Violet bag so that whatever I decide to knit in there smells heavenly. I'm going to take the chocolates out because I know from experience that if you keep chocolate in the same bag as lavender, it starts to taste like lavender. So maybe I will put stitch markers in the So Sweet Violet bag as well. And then she sent me some vanilla and silk popcorn from Iowa, and I'm pretty stoked to try this. I like candied popcorn. I haven't had it in ages. Here in Germany, it is way more common to have kettle corn than salted corn. If you go to the movie theater, if you just ask for popcorn, they will give you kettle corn. You would have to ask specifically for a buttered popcorn, if they even have it. Which I remember when I went to the movie theater the first time here, and we ordered popcorn, and I, put my hand in and took a bite. I was like, what in the world? This is so strange. I had it before, but I expected salty, super buttery movie theater American popcorn. So I'm excited to try that. I will probably dig into it today. I adore sweets. I have a sweet tooth. I like good quality chocolate. I am definitely excited to try this popcorn. So thank you so much. I cannot wait to try all of those things. And like I said, I think that yarn will be perfect for the Brioche-licious shawl. And oh my goodness, I'm looking at some of my yarn. I feel like squash would be gorgeous with it because I definitely want some tonals. What else could I pair with it that would look really nice? Let's be friends. That might be too colorful. Ash might be a nice... No, I don't like that. My chair is squeaking all over the place. So I'm sorry about that. You know what else could look really cool? So I have a new colorway that I have started to dye, and it is called Fried Pickles. How cool is that? Robert actually wants a cardigan in this. There's quite a bit of brown in here, some kind of brown speckles, as well as tonal bits, and it looks really nice. Like, I feel like this would make a pretty cool men's pullover. So I have just dyed this on Soft Sock, as well as Stellina yarn. I don't think there's any more in the shop. There might be one skein left. I've got to dye it again. I'm waiting for a massive yarn shipment that should be here today. So this might look cool in there. And I could even add, I think squash would clash. Maybe not. But, yeah. So, I think I need 5 colors for that shawl, but I am quite sure that these two are contenders. Maybe I will add the ash. Maybe that would be as well. Anyway, you guys will see probably in a couple weeks. I am hoping to finish the shawl before the next podcast, so that will mean I get to cast on something new. I really want to knit a pure brioche shawl though. One that is just brioche. And I think I'd like it to be a triangular shawl. And I feel like Drea Renee also has, I think she has one that's just that. Just a really, really simple brioche shawl. I would love to do it in DK weight. That would be pretty nice. I am dreaming right now. Anyway, I love these. Go and check out Dyed in the Wool. She has speckly, wonderful, beautiful colorways. I love her. So, yeah, that's what I've acquired this week. I have some really fun clubs going on. Last podcast I talked about the July Sock Club, and now I'm hosting the August Sock Club. There are signups going on right now. I won't have the signups open much longer, just because I would like to get the yarn out in a week and a half, 2 weeks. It's kind of a surprise shipment, so you don't know when you'll get it, and when it comes it will be a surprise. But I would like to send it out in a week and a half to 2 weeks, so the signups will definitely close before then. And then I have my Tim Burton Yarn Club. So July, August, September, I am teaming up with Sucre Sucre Miniatures, and we have done a charm and yarn club. And I kind of designed all of the charms. She made them, sent them to me, and I have coordinating yarn that goes with them. So the first installment has been sent out. You guys are going to love it. I almost don't have any doubt in my mind that you won't. Unless, there's a certain color in there that you're just like, oh my goodness, I am so not, I don't know, and this color person. But I feel like this yarn would be hard not to like. The charm is fantastic, and I will show it to you on the next podcast because I'm pretty sure it will have been about 3 weeks since the yarn was sent out. You guys will definitely have gotten it, I hope. So now, Chelsea from Sucre Miniatures and I are doing a Tim Burton yarn club. So signups are now open. It will be from October, November, and December, which I feel like is the perfect Tim Burton season. I'm not telling you which movies from Tim Burton we're doing at all. It will be a complete surprise, but you guys are going to love it. So signups will be open for a short time, and the first installment will get out to you in October, and hopefully you get it soon enough for knitting something fun and Halloween-y. If it's Halloween colors, we'll see. So, I have, oh no, my yarn is outside. I did dye up some of the yarn out on the balcony is my This Is Halloween colorway. It is a fantastic tonal purple. It has a bunch of different shades of purple in the tonal part of it. And then it has different shades of orange and black and then purple speckles. So I dyed that up on tweed and I dyed that up on gold sparkle. That should be in the shop today. Because Halloween is soon. Halloween is in, 3 months. But if you guys want to knit some socks or knit a shawl or knit some mittens and have them prepared for October or even fall time, I feel like now is the perfect time to, be collecting Halloween yarns from all of your favorite indie dyers. So yes, I did dye that up. I do have the crispy fried pickles colorway. I have Be Quiet and Drive. This is on Jeunesse Singles. Love it. I have It's Okay to Be Alone. This is another new colorway. And then I have a couple of tonals. I've dyed up more since then. I have Fog, the middle one is Oatmeal, and this one is Lychee. I have that in the shop. And then I have another tone, or singles. This is Hard Knock Life. That one would look really pretty with Lychee. Would look pretty with any of them, to be honest. And then I have Woodland. This is a pretty colorway. I haven't dyed this one in quite a while. And then I think there might be one skein of It's Not Me, It's You left in the shop. I love this colorway. I would say this is a colorway that isn't as popular as I thought. And I think that's because it photographs terribly, to be honest. I think because it has so many just different shades of this purpley pink that it's very, very hard to photograph and not to get too overexposed. But I love it. For all of you who love jewel tones, I'm going to be dyeing more of this on Soft Sock next week, not this week. And there are a lot more. So let me just show you. I dyed up a ton of birthday cake. I dyed it up on gold sparkle, and I dyed it up on singles. So there will be, and Soft Sock. So there will be a lot of that in the shop. Tomorrow there should be. I dyed up a ton of If You're a Bird, I'm a Bird. This is wet. I just dyed this yesterday. On sparkle and tweed. There's a lot of it on tweed. I dyed up here. You can see some whale belly. Oh my goodness. I've never before dyed up Berlin Sunset. on singles, and I love the way these turned out. I went crazy dyeing this. I think I dyed, oh my god, too many skeins. But I dyed Mermaid of the Black Lake on Gold Sparkle. I dyed it on Tweed as well. And then I dyed up Mirth on Tweed and Sparkle, and I love the way it turned out. So it's definitely more gray toned. For those of you who don't really like the kind of brighter, almost fluorescent pink, this is the Mirth for you, because it turned out wonderfully. Those should be in the shop today. So there will definitely be a bit of yarn. And this is how it looks on the gold sock or soft sock, because it's not gray toned. It's more of a natural based yarn. And then there's quite a bit more out on the balcony, so sorry I can't share that with you. But I have had so much fun dyeing this week. I wanted to say that one person did not claim their prize from our Spring into Summer Stellina knit along. So if you entered and it could possibly be you, definitely go back and watch the last episode, because by my next episode, if one of the prizes is not claimed, I will use it for another prize. And I'm really sorry about that, but I really want people to win the prizes who are actively participating. I know in being in the knit along you're participating, but in watching the podcast as well. So the next person who won the July, because July is over with, the month of July, Spring into Summer knit along, is Judith Rabe, and she lives in Germany, and she knit she started some really, really beautiful Stellina socks, and they're in a beige, kind of a natural color with some honey tones and browns. Oh, I can't remember who the dyer is. Honey Badger Knits? Could that be a yarn company? Anyway, her socks were stunning. I loved them. So I think she's knitting them for her sister, she said. So she won a skein of this lovely tonal green yarn. It's an 80/20 superwash merino nylon. There are 400 yards. I believe that's 435 meters of yarn. So it would make for a nice contrasting yarn. And like I said, it's by Your Mom Knits, and it's yourmomknits.com. And then Judith gets this beautiful hand-dyed bag from Simple Love. And there's this really pretty green and teal progress keeper you can use on there. And then inside is this really sweet and fun floral print. It looks quite vintage. So I hope you love your yarn and your project bag. So as soon as you contact me via Ravelry, you can just contact me and let me know of your address, and I will get that shipped out to you ASAP. All right. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Let me grab a skein of yarn. But I have new labels. They're not really new. So here they are. They are printed on recycled paper, which I love. And they are belly bands, which I love. Oh, I think I just dropped something. So I didn't come up with that name. They're belly bands. And I have had these for so long. So I used to sell my yarn with the tags, and I still have yarn or tags on the yarn that, some leftover tags, because I had ordered a couple thousand tags. I don't even know how many, maybe 2,000 tags. And I just needed, I had been using them, and I didn't like the way they were shipping. I didn't like how long they took to put on the yarn. I didn't like, I do think they look nice, don't get me wrong, but I think the belly band or the yarn band looks so much nicer, in my opinion. So I had ordered these, oh my goodness, I don't even remember when that was. I remember Kristen of the Yarngasm podcast, we ordered ours on the same day, I think, and we didn't even know that the other person was ordering belly bands, and it was so funny. We were both like, oh my god, I just ordered one too. Oh yeah, I just ordered one. And I've just been waiting. I have just been waiting for my tags to be finished, and the first time that I got to use one of these, I think it was on Friday, I started putting them on my yarns. It felt amazing. It was just an moment. So I love the way they look. I hope you guys like them too. I hope they ship nicely. And I'm excited. So they're very simple. They just have my logo. Then on the back, it just says, you know, what you're getting. So the same stickers that were on my tags, and I'm so excited. So yeah, a lot has been going on. We reserved the land for our house. I know I spoke about that in the last episode, which we are thrilled about. We are so excited to know that this is where we're going to be living now. If everything goes completely well, it still could change a little bit. We're still waiting to hear back from the bank. But we did reserve the land. We're pretty sure the bank should be a positive note. It should be an okay. And it's exciting. It's crazy to think that next Christmas in 2017, we will have Christmas in our house. I hope that we can invite Robert's family over there for Christmas. We will have enough rooms for everyone. It is so funny. As an adult, I had kind of always thought that I wanted this little cozy house. Now where we live right now, it is very small. We are 4 people. When we were 3 people, it was enough. I think it's 80 square meters, which is so teeny. It is so teeny for 2 adults, 2 children, a studio, and, you know, bedroom and living room and kitchen. It is so small. We are suffocating in here. It works. It definitely works, but I realize that we definitely need twice the space. So we are getting 1,000 square meters of yard, which is nothing compared to what I grew up on. My yard was massive. We had tons of woods, and but living in Berlin is very expensive. I underestimated how much money it would cost. So much. But the house that we're building, I will have my own studio. I will, you know, have my own place to dye. I'll have my own place to do all of my work. And I am looking so forward to that. I have my own studio here, but I am dyeing in the kitchen. I don't dye on the stove. I dye on like the island in the kitchen, and I dye on coil burners, you know. So I just want to get out of the kitchen. I hate dyeing in the kitchen. I'm always worried about cross-contamination. I'm very, very careful about cleaning. But still, I can't wait to have my own studio. And it's just going to be a very, very, I can't wait, a super open floor plan. The kitchen, living room, dining room is all one massive room. We'll have a fireplace in there. And I can't wait. This is truly going to be our dream home. You know, that's what you do when you build a house. And German homes are fantastic. They are so... I love American homes. I love American country-styled homes, but German homes are just... I mean, it really depends. You can get a Stadtvilla, you can get a city house, you can get a country house. They can all be quite different, but they definitely have a specific style to them. With their Elektro-Rollladen, I can't wait to have those. I can't wait to not have Stoff, fabric curtains. It's so funny when you can think of a German word, but you can't think of your own mother tongue word. Stoff, it means fabric. Things like that happen often. I just cannot wait. I cannot wait. It's so exciting. So soon we will start the real, talk with the architects. And we've already had those talks. We already have the basic outline of our house, made. But the really, really serious stuff, we'll kind of start digging into that soon. We just purchased a car. We didn't have one before. Living in the middle of the city, you don't need a car. You can get everywhere on the trams and S-Bahns and U-Bahns and buses. But because we're building, we need to go to and from the site. And so now we have a car to do that and to do other fun little day trips with the girls that are a little bit farther outside of Berlin and maybe you can't get to with the tram and bus and S-Bahn so easily. So I can't wait. I would love to start doing some more, showing you guys around. And I used to do that at the end of my podcasts. And I think I would like to start adding those sorts of things a little bit more and doing that again. I just have to remember to take my camera with me. So I'm starting to get extremely babbly, but I'm just excited. I'm really, really excited. It's almost lunchtime right now. I'm sure it's past lunchtime. But I have already had a bit of chocolate, a bit of coffee, and my stomach isn't even grumbling, which is strange because I usually get very hungry around lunchtime. So, yeah, it's been nice chatting with you guys. I'm so happy to see you again so soon. It feels fantastic. So I hope that you guys have a wonderful August. I'm sure I'll see you before August ends. And I cannot wait to see you guys next time. Bye.